Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here. Extra time hat goes off. We'll take that hat off and we'll go a bit hatless today. So it's Norman Kochnick here for my show, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. We have had yet another match, in fact the 18th match of the IPL series of 2021. And we certainly have had a match where fluctuations have yet again occurred. We're joined by Debashis Sen. Debashis, I've already started. Hello. I'm taking my hat. I almost forgot to wear my hat again. I had the wrong hat on. Anyway, so I've just begun. The reality is we've got Manu John, we've got Bakul Dada, we've got Milan all online there, as they normally are. And Nilakshi's Nilakshi made a comment. It was a boring match. I have to say it did lack a bit of, a bit of substance. It certainly wasn't mature innings from Samson. Milan has stated that. Sanju Samson, well, you've got to give him credit today. He did understand the mood of the game, and he handled it with a great deal of control. I don't think he's going to be able to do enough for them to go through and make the top four. But I think that we are looking at a situation where both these teams will end up being at the bottom of the table. We're waiting for David Gravely to come. He's due to come on very shortly. He's just messaged me that he's on his way. We'll see what David's doing. David has the right link, I hope. I'm sure he does. And I'm just going to check on the link. There's always this concern about the link. It's UNF. Oh, hello. I'm going to just double check that David's got the right link. It's a real problem with these links, isn't it? Debashis, there's immediately a situation where the link is not always. Okay, let's have a look here. Invite guests. Yes, copy. Just making sure David's got the right link. So Debashis, were you happy with today's match? Were you happy?
Not with the brand of cricket, but definitely because as you rightly mentioned, that none of these teams will make it to the playoffs. But then it was very, very baffling to see that some of the decisions that KKR management is still sticking on. With the likes of the batting order of Andrew Russell. Again, we see Andrew Russell coming in at number 16. It was just inexplicable. Means you have your best batsman, best power hitting batsman who has played that blinder in the last match, and even you send him at number when in the 16th over. There is no excuse. There is no logic, I would say. It is just really, really baffling. Means to send a stroke maker in the likes of Andrew Russell. How can you do that? Means, how can you do that? Means, strange thing. I really, really don't know.
Look, as I said earlier on comments we've made for these two teams, Debashis, with a coach like Brendan McCullum who does take risks, who believes in top order, wham bam, thank you, man. He believes in that strongly. And Owen Morgan perhaps more conservative. There must be an issue there, because you would think they would have put in Andre Russell earlier. Why not? They've now got nothing to lose. They're going to have to take these risks. They should have done it today. They're going to have to give the likes of a so-called Andre Russell a go earlier in the order. They need to take a bit of a thrust and have a go. Gill, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I believe that Andre Russell has to be given a bit of a risk-taking process. And Guru Acharya saying that Owen Morgan's captain is confusing. His batting form is also affected his captaincy. Yes. I know we're talking about Owen Morgan a lot, but we have to, because he's like we talk about Samson a lot too. But he perhaps today showed some mettle and showed some ability to handle a match where in fact they were behind the eight ball from the start. I just wonder about that whole situation. I really do. I just don't know whether, in fact, they've got it right. And I don't think they got much out. Now, if you look at the table, Debashis, at the moment, go look at the table.
Yeah. You want me to have a look?
Now, I've got it in front of me now.
All right. Okay.
We've got, obviously, RCB, CSK, DC, and MI are still the top four. Okay. But even with the games that Rajasthan Royals have won, they've only lifted themselves to sixth position. And interestingly enough, we both said that Punjab Kings and obviously Rajasthan Royals will be the last two teams. Well, at the moment, as it stands, SRH and KKR are the last two. I know it's early, but SRH have to prove their medal tomorrow. KKR are probably going to stay there now. They've had 1 from 4. Unless they do something dramatic, they're not going to pull themselves off the canvas there. Even though Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals are both now 2 wins from 5, which is by no means the worst results. I don't think they're going to go much further than that. Let's see what David Gravity. Nice to have David here. Good evening, David Gravely.
Good evening, David.
How are you, Debate? You well?
Fantastic. Fine. Now, lovely to see you.
And to you, Norman.
How are you, David?
Fine. Your hair's looking fantastic, Norman.
Norman, have David in the middle. Have David in the middle. Yes.
So David's in rugby terms, David's the hooker.
Hooker. Definitely. It is a hooker.
I said in rugby terms.
Yeah, rugby terms, no other terms.
Now, David, it's an ungodly hour here in Australia. It's getting close to 5
I don't know how you keep getting up at this hour in the day, Norman.
Well, I'm getting phone calls from so many lovely Indian women. I just can't sleep. They ring me and say, "Hi, how are you? What are you doing, Norman? Are you watching cricket?" The amount of time people ask me, "Am I watching cricket?" Of course, I'm bloody watching cricket. That's all I'm doing. Jeez.
So I would have to say thank you for your comments about the squad. That was quite an insight, actually, in terms of who's been left out and who's been selected.
Well, it is intriguing, the Australian selection process. They may have taken some strength in leaving out certain players this time around, but they're also taking into account the T20 form in the World Cup, for the World Cup. And
right.
But that contracted list of players also includes team players for the Ashes as well.
I know, yeah. So it's a cross section, isn't it? Of
David's frozen. That's he'll come back.
Yeah, it looks like.
Actually, David's changed his hair. He's had a haircut there, I think. In fact, David looks like David, we were lucky, David. Your face was frozen, so we could see that you've had an eyebrow cut. Have you had your eyebrows trimmed?
not really. I've had a haircut. Don't worry.
Exactly. we knew there was something different.
I've had a number 4, which I don't know what that means, but
number 4.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Thankfully, you didn't have a number 2. We would be seeing a rather skull-capped person, perhaps. We're not sure.
You would be doing that without any doubt. Anyway.
All right, David.
So when does the IPL move off change venue? Is that now from the next game?
Pretty much.
I think Chennai leg is finished. Yeah.
So are they moving to Delhi?
Delhi.
And when does Kolkata start?
It's the last stage. It's the last leg.
And Ahmedabad?
Kolkata and Bangalore are the last leg.
So
Delhi and Ahmedabad are next now.
Is it they play the 2 venues they're doing now? They now move to another 2 venues.
Yeah, 2 venues, right? Exactly, David.
And then there's another 2 venues after that.
Another 2 venues, that is Calcutta and Bangalore.
Fine. And Going to Delhi, that's not a problem to the teams or the IPL, given.
No, but you're right. But then they are under a bio bubble, so they are traveling in a chartered flight. So and they will be taken to the hotel and they will be in the bio bubble. But Delhi, the situation is very bad, as you might go through the reports.
I spoke to spoke to a friend of mine, Sachin Baji, today, who was in Mumbai, and he said that Delhi's it's hard, and certainly the news coverage here, the basis has been, pretty horrendous in terms of what's happening in Delhi. So,
Yeah.
that's not a lot more important than bats and balls. But if they think it's okay to continue, then that's fine.
Yeah, I know Sachin Bajaj very well too, David. He's a good friend. He's visited Australian shores very often. We often catch up. He and Jeff Lawson obviously together.
No, he's a good guy. So seems to me the wickets. Am I right thinking the basis that the wickets are not quite as flat as they were, let's say, 2 weeks ago?
Yes, especially this wicket was definitely. We have seen matches where in Mumbai where scores where there were plenty of runs being scored, but not the case today because the wicket was a little bit on the slower side. Norman, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's slow, but it's I always have a bit of an argument to basis as a bowler. It can't be always in the batsman's cricket as a result. So.
And both sides have the same conditions too, don't they, David?
Yeah. So it's been good. So my choice at the beginning, Bangalore, are just going from strength to strength.
They certainly are. You predicted them early on, didn't you, David? You were RCB fan.
Yeah. I actually wanted a shirt, actually.
And Chris as well.
Yeah, no, he wanted Bangalore as well.
Yes.
But hang on. Let's not get too excited about Chris's selections. He chose CSK to come last. He's wrong there.
and our friend is a diehard Delhi Capitals fan.
All right. But there is, I would have to say, even the sides that have started slowly have managed to win a couple of games or win a game this week, which actually makes it really more exciting, really.
Absolutely.
That's true. I mean, Manu John has just made a comment, and it's right. KKR are not playing in Kolkata Stadium.
Yeah, that's
they're missing a trick there for sure. All right.
Well, they haven't got any crowds, so it's a bit like watching the Premier League at the moment. You know, the amount of away wins that happen because it's just a football pitch. It doesn't make any difference. There's nobody in it. So
that's true. What's your take on the English Premier League now with what's happening? Are you upset?
Well, they've had. I would have to say, Norman, they've had a bit of a hiatus in the last 4 or 5 days, with demonstrations outside grounds and whatever. I think that who was ever giving strategic advice to the 6 major clubs or those clubs probably hasn't got a job anymore. So,
sure.
That was that rather upset. Anyway, to basis, why haven't we got a Chelsea hat on?
No, I'm no more wearing a Chelsea hat because Norman has been pulling me every day with my Chelsea hat, so I decided not to wear it.
No, I don't mind. It's just I find it very offensive, that's all. So don't worry about it.
So do I. Yeah, I find it very offensive too, David. It's almost like wearing a Roosters cap and a Rabbitohs cap, for God's sake. All right. So, David, I haven't actually had you on air since the ECB announced their restructure of their selection.
Yeah.
Are you able to talk about it, or are you?
I can make a comment the same as anybody else can make a comment. I'm no longer employed at ECB.
So what do you think of all this?
I would have to say, when it came as a bit of a surprise.
Right.
And I always sort of, because I was the last chairman of selectors, like Trevor.
That's right.
Trevor Holmes. But in modern employment law, actually, the way to get rid of somebody is to change the job or change the title of the job. So that's when they moved it to be a national selector. I was surprised, but I have to sort of, in my own mind, to understand that actually life does move on, and the game is now seemingly in certain areas dictated by stats, video. There's a lot. You could basically be a selector being at home. You could watch videotapes of everything, which actually was one of the things that was brought up on one of the programs about the impact of John Buchanan. And John Buchanan was the first bloke that I ever met in Queensland that had just a room full of videotape of every known batsman that Queensland or bowler that Queensland were going to face. And he's the first bloke that I've seen to introduce that sort of technology at that level to enhance decision making. Being an old codger, I'm not convinced that actually you should be dictated by stats completely, because I don't think you know the match situation, type of the wicket, and sometimes you need to know by looking at a player, speaking to the people around him, whether he's the right guy. I've said to you on this program before that the more that I did the job, I was driven by the quality of the individual, whether or not he could cope with pressure. Now, I'm not sure a computer can tell you that.
So how are they going to do that now? How are they? I mean, you've hit the nail on the head in the first 5 seconds of talking here. That's where the problem starts and finishes.
Yeah. So I'm not in the inner circle, Norman, so I can't say. But what is relevant as a fact, England are attempting to do something different compared to every other nation in the whole world. Every other nation uses what is perceived to be an old-fashioned mechanism of having selectors. Because the game of cricket is a very difficult game to watch. I've travelled miles over England going to watch a particular player arrive there and have his off stump not flattened within 3 or 4 balls. So I don't know whether he can play or not. Actually, a very bad 30 would give you a bit more indication of whether a bloke could play or not. So, but in the end, you have to acknowledge you have to move with the times, and certainly the evidence that Owen Morgan has gathered in the one-day.
Debashis, this is a very interesting conversation.
What he's doing.
Very important, very interesting.
So Debashis, okay, and Debashis and I have questions for you, David. Can you go back a moment to when you were chairman of selectors, which is only last year? You had yourself as chairman of selectors. You had Ed Smith. What was his role under you?
Sorry, no, I didn't hear the question because you.
Okay, that's right. You were the chair. This is last year, only last year. You were chairman of selectors, correct?
No. I haven't been chairman of selectors since.
No, sorry. Okay, sorry. No, I'll get this.
For a number of years.
When you sorry, not your last year. When you were chairman of selectors, what was the structure? It was a chairman of selectors.
Yeah, I had another selector with me, Jeff Miller, who then took over from me, and then you'd have the coach, and the captain would also have some input as well. Sometimes in the period of time that I've been involved, at various times, the captain didn't want to be involved, or the coach didn't want to be involved, right. Which I could understand. It's just their choice. But I'm not. I was never, hopefully, stupid enough to think, or arrogant enough to think that I knew all the answers. So actually, the more people you have involved, the better it is, really.
So okay, you were chairman of selectors. You had Jeff Miller with you, who then took over.
Yeah.
Then Jeff Miller went on for a period of time, and then was it Ed Smith that took over from him?
No, it went. Jeff Miller took over from me. He then had a guy called James Whitaker, who was captain of Leicester, and he did it for a bit. And then Ed Smith took over from James Whitaker.
So was Ed Smith deemed to be a chairman of selectors? Was that his?
No, he was now called the national selector.
Right, which was effectively the same title, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just a matter of employment law, nothing more than that.
Right. And so Peter Taylor used to walk under Ed Smith, right?
James Taylor.
James Taylor, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so up until recently, we had Ed Smith as the national/chairman, whatever you want to call him, of selectors. You had James Taylor as one of the selectors that worked with him. So what's happened now? Ed Smith goes, and what replaces?
Yeah, so and I would have to say this is a long-held belief, really held by somebody like David Lloyd when he was coach, that trying to relate it to football, that actually, like the football manager, there should be somebody solely responsible for everything, which is understandable belief. And if you talk to people who are in other sports, they can't get their head around the selectorial system that operates in cricket.
This is extremely.
Yeah. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to watch the game of cricket. If you watch a game of football last 90 minutes, game of rugby 80 minutes, and everybody's involved, cricket is very difficult to watch because the people you might want to see involved aren't necessarily taking part. You know, their intervention happens a lot in the game, so you can't stay there for 4 days. So you definitely need to have a lot of intelligence coming from other people. Right. But I think that's the same in other sports. I can't think that anybody is arrogant enough to say, I'm the sole person and I know all the information and I'm going to make the final decision. Knowing Trevor Hohns, and it's a number of years since I've seen him, my understanding or thinking, he was a very sensible guy, had a long career playing the game, and lent on a lot of people for the advice. And I'm sure that happens in India and any other country.
All right. So we have a structure there where Ed Smith had the reins with James Taylor. Now Ed Smith moves aside.
Yeah.
And James Taylor takes on a head scouting role.
Yeah, he'd still be doing the same thing. He's still out there looking, gathering information for potential people to play.
Right.
But the responsibility of selection is now very clearly in the hands of the coach, which might have already been the case. But people could easily make the conclusion actually that the past systems were very confusing. Who is actually responsible?
So Ashley Giles was the person who oversaw this restructure, was he not?
Yeah.
And what would be the roles of Joe Root and Owen Morgan?
I think the base is very, very strong, and I have to underline it's a view coming from the outside, not the inside. But when I listen to the quotes coming from those two guys, who are very, very impressive in the job that they do, they show a lot of humility when the results don't go their way. I think they have great loyalty of the players that are within the dressing room. I would describe them as old-fashioned captains. When I started playing professional cricket, the dressing room was run by the captain, and he made the decisions. He might have had a number of coaches underneath him, but it started and finished with the captain.
Right. So, okay, we've got James Taylor as the head scout. You've got Silverwood as effectively the head selector in a way.
Yeah.
You've got then the likes of is it Babu? I can't remember the name. No. What's his role? I've got that name right, haven't I, Debashis?
No. Norman, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Right. Mo Bobat is the performance director. So, and was basically the chief analyst, which was a new position. But he gathers the information, advises the selectors and advises Chris Silverwood. Chris Silverwood is involved with the national team, so he can't be in two places at once. So you need a network of people. How official, unofficial. Trevor Hohns will be doing the same thing. Ravi will be doing the same thing in India. That you can't be everywhere to watch every single player. And sometimes the stats are not misleading, but you need a bit of background information, basically. So I think they all work together, but I think in any walk of life, accountability is a critical thing. So, if the team is a selector, said Jeff, that the criteria of our engagement is very simple. When we win, it's the players who get the credit, which is quite right. If we lose, it's our fault. All right. So as long as you understand the terms of engagement, that's what it is. So.
All right. So Ashley Giles, what role has he got? Because he was involved in a restructure. What is he positioned to do now?
He basically oversees the whole of the game. He is managing director of England cricket. So I don't know what the equivalent is in Australia or India. He's played the highest level.
Of course.
He's done every single job through county cricket and whatever. Highly qualified, and he basically runs it as opposed to, which is, I think, fantastic. I've known Ash for the whole of his cricket career and most of mine. He's the perfect guy to be involved.
Okay. Oh, that's a very positive take on this. I was a bit more disillusioned because this was a process that's been the case, they're saying, for 120 years. So to do something quite radical is interesting to see how that will work. But does it mean that if the coach and captains have a large say in the selection, that means that you will have Owen Morgan protecting his spot?
No, I don't think that's the case. I think they're very. They know the parameters of being captain in a player. That would be the one thing that I would spend a bit of time investing in younger players to identify leaders that actually playing is one role, captain is another. Now, can you do the same things together? And have the strength of character to be able, if you're running a team professionally, to be able to look somebody in the eye and say, actually, you're not playing, and he will be looking at you saying, actually, I've done better than you have. And can you deal with that sort of scenario? And actually, the best captains in the world can deal with it.
Yeah. All right. I didn't want to labour on this, but I thought you were the man to talk to about this because you would have a very good insight what happened back in your time right through to now, and you would have a good indication. And we are very blessed to have you here, David, not just because of the current IPL, but also the whole understanding of coaching.
Yeah, I was surprised, but not shocked. Surprised, but also I think that you've been involved in the game for a while. You have to accept things change, and the gathering information and people involved. They just have a different scenario on it. And as long as the dressing room allows people to play, and I think Joe Root and Owen Morgan in particular, the branded cricket that he's introduced for England to play in a one-day scenario is revolutionary. And you have to work really hard to have that level of trust to let people to go out and play in such a positive manner and not have fear go through the ranks as a result of it. That's a really hard thing to manage.
Do you think other national selection panels will go the same way? Do you think they'll adopt the same process?
I think the presence of analysts is a growing thing. I'm not saying it's the scourge of the game, but that just reflects technology, Norman, of the world.
True. All right, I'll come back to that a bit later, but there was a question asked by Amar Siraj about, they want to ask you specifically, will cricket benefit from the turmoil in football? Will there be enough dissension to suggest they may move?
I think the whole situation with football was, the reaction it created from the man on the street was extraordinary. It's not often Man United and Liverpool fans stand united on anything, but they did this time. So, and it's the same as Chelsea, Arsenal. I think the man on the street found the whole manoeuvring to be offensive. And actually, this is going back many, many years, Norman, but the reaction was a little bit like Packer. That actually the normal cricket fan didn't, and because it was all a bit secret, all behind closed doors, and suddenly revealed that actually the normal cricket fan found that quite offensive, without understanding actually certain elements of the Packer scenario changed the face of the game. and actually players began to earn a lot more money than they had done in the past. But yeah, I think I don't think it affects football. I think it affects the football scenario. Cricket needs to get people to come and watch, and it's the same as football. If we don't get any spectators in any sport, then it's going to be a major problem. So,
okay, excellent points. Barshas, there's been a comment made that your camera is jumping up and down.
No, it's just a fan.
the basis is dance. Do you realise he's dancing in his seat?
I'm not going to comment on that one, David. There's so many lines I can bring up that I'm not going to bring up.
Ashok Dattani says, is it just me or is Devasis's camera jumping up and down?
Usually I get that way when I need to go to the toilet. I'm a bit jumpy, but that's all right. Now, you've talked about Owen Morgan quite a bit there, David, but you neglected to talk about his current form in the IPL. What's your take on his performance so far this season?
Well, I'm very, very conscious of the fact that I was about to make some comments about Chris Morris, saying how much is he worth, when he then proceeded to smash it out of the park in the game that I was referring to. And he seems to have the same effect with the ball in this game. Owen Morgan, Josh Butler, the England players, they obviously gain a lot of power when they're playing together. And I think that they're finding this, the question of bubbles, and they're just finding how it works. But they are very dangerous people to write off. That's happened a lot with Josh Butler, that actually people say, well, he shouldn't be doing that. And guaranteed the next game he wins the game or does something extraordinary. And Owen Morgan will be exactly the same type of player. I think the way that they play, Norman, you have to accept that there will be times when they are not successful and they have to keep playing. It's a bit like Gill. I think Gill is one of the best young players I've ever seen in the last 5 or 6 years. But there will be times when he's not going to get any runs. And he might be going through this spell at the moment. And I don't think it's a stick or twist. I think it's a chance.
It's great discussion, because what you're saying is they need to persist with Owen Morgan, obviously Butler. They need to persist with them and see them through this period, because they'll come out the other end.
Yeah. They're quality players. They have a record that is phenomenal. They have won games in devastating fashion. The best question is to say, that I've always found when I was doing it, what would the opposition least like to happen? The least like to happen is that they got Butler on the other side and Morgan. What they would like is that there's a knee-jerk reaction and somebody leaves them out, because they know they are potential match winners.
Absolutely.
That's what we were discussing, Norman, just a few hours back. That KKR management won't be changing Morgan. And so obviously, he needs to be given a longer rope, at least full season, before we make a judgment about his captaincy. But then the sheer fact is that I think his batting form has been a concern, David, because in the series against England, he just scored only 33 runs, which is unlike Morgan, because Morgan, the batsman, we all know what he can bring to the table, but he has not performed against India in the T20 series, and perhaps that form is he is taking that form into IPL. His poor run of form.
Well, and there could be many reasons for that. He does suffer from a long-term back complaint, which actually will probably prematurely end his career. What he needs is from within his team and the management, which I'm sure he's getting, is that vote of confidence, and everybody needs a bit of TLC to basically from time to time. I've always regarded batting as the hardest profession of all. If you bowl and I was an average bowler, if you bowl an average ball, you've still got the ball in your hand. And Norman will know this because he's an average bowler as well. So
I beg your pardon.
Whereas batting, you can make a mistake, get run out, have a poor decision. There are lots of things that can go against you. So I think some people need to be able to just give them a bit of space and relax and don't try too hard. Just go out, enjoy it, and express your skills, which is actually what Morgan has done, ironically, to that one-day team that has made it such a force that actually just go and play. We'll change the situation depending on what happens.
But David, what do you think about someone like Brendan McCullum, who's effectively the coach of KKR, and Owen Morgan and his tactics? Will they clash? They are probably varied in the way they approach this particular match, or the way the team.
I don't think they. Well, I don't know. You can't. It's very difficult to predict from the outside. There's not a lot of difference the way they play. Mine. They don't block too many between the two of them. So
true. Okay. Well, I've been making comment all series about the fact is we've had some glossy social media videos from all the teams from their social media armory about cakes and backslapping and great motivational speeches. But what we're not seeing is the negative side of a team dynamic. But you do see it when you look at the bench. When you see players on the bench talking between themselves, you get a vibe during a match about what's actually transpiring. Because players in the dugout find it hard to keep their emotions out of what they show. And I meant there when I saw many times where Dave Warner was in a disgruntled mood and you saw Williamson and Bairstow well away from the team having what appeared to be private chats. The dissension was obvious. There was something not right there. And I think you see a lot of the teams where, for example, RCB, you see Coley talking to Dan Christian and a lot of winking, a lot of, understanding going on between them. I think we're seeing some of the true effects of the synergy of those teams. And even today.
Yeah, but it's been exposed in the outside because the public can see all the players. Normally they're hiding away in the dressing room.
That's
so
right.
You can't really see them. So I wouldn't read. I don't know what you want. I don't know what people want players to do. They want them to sit there with no expression at all.
No.
What happens on the bench is the same in any sport. People will talk to each other, and that's why all this habit of speaking behind your hand, like with footballers and rugby players, because the worst caption can be, and it can be a very innocent thing, is you might be losing the game and there's a caption of a player laughing. So, people will make great hay out of that. They're out in the public domain. So they just have to take the rough with the small. I'm sure that actually, given the scenario, they're spending so much time together, actually, that they would like to have a private chat with somebody sooner or later. So... And I don't know, and the basis would know more than me that the amount of the Indian players, how good their English is to be able to speak to. I'm sure the English is okay, but I've just seen some of the interviews that have been conducted in the local dialect as opposed to being English, which was their choice. Tournaments in India, so.
Barring a few players, obviously, most of the current generation of Indian cricketers, they speak good English.
Yeah, no. Well, I've always all the time I've had the privilege to visit India. That's always been the case.
Yeah.
Again, if you go to Sri Lanka and other countries, it's not a criticism, but that is the fact. English.
If you go to Sri Lanka, you will invariably see that the press conference, the first part is the questions are asked in English, and the second part, the questions are asked in Sinhalese.
Yeah.
And that is normally the trend in Sri Lanka, as is the case with Pakistan. If you go to if you attend any press conference, you will have certain questions that is it will in fact the press conference will start with questions being extended in Urdu, followed by few questions that will be asked in English. Obviously, if the players they are willing to talk in English, but most of the press conference they happen in their own language.
There is a major problem within the UK basis, the fact or arrogance is that everybody in the UK thinks that everybody in the world can speak English.
That is not fair.
Which is not the case.
Yes.
So as a result of that, they don't learn other languages, which is actually a bit of an insult to the nation that you go to. So, but yeah, I think they're in a very unusual, extreme circumstances. I think they're all doing a fantastic job because it must be extremely hard, and I think the Delhi leg will be a challenge. You know that, and I'm not wanting to be negative to basis, but facts are facts. At what point does sport become more important than life and death? And that might challenge the IPL.
I
Yeah,
think there's going to be some critical debates. What review process is taking place with the BCCI and the IPL
and
with this?
we had some reports. In fact, yesterday also we had some reports with some BCCI official making it very clear that they are not going to tinker with the scheduling of the IPL matches. The matches will go ahead as per schedule, and also there are no chances of the venues being changed uh, in in such a
No,
not.
I wasn't trying to be pessimistic, but it's just wherever you live, to
Because
basis you you
there has been
you
criticism
you
with the
watch
timing of
the
the IPL,
news.
because people are dying, people are just, losing their dear ones, their closed ones.
Yeah.
Even for that matter, few journalists, Norman, in fact, few section of media, we were discussing few days back. Nishant Arora, the BCCI former BCCI media manager, he had to be admitted in hospital. The good thing is that he has just been released today, so he is doing fine. He has recovered. And also Chandresh, who we met earlier because he was with the ICC media manager, he was also admitted because things are really going out of hands, because people are
But
struggling to.
also the basis sport acts as a great motivation relief to the public. So it's a double-edged sword. Well, not sword, double-edged coin, really. So as I said to you before, Norman, for the week, I'm probably more around and not around.
Well, that's fantastic for us. It
All right.
is an absolute coup for us because, David, what you say and by the comments we're getting is extremely insightful and very interesting, and very much there's an awareness you have of the game at all levels, which no one can match. Plus,
Absolutely.
you're a handsome bloke, and the girls are just coming onto the channel
Jesus
left,
Christ.
right, and centre.
There you go. Fortunately, I don't have the same color hair as you have, Norman. So there you go.
I can always roll out the video of you with Elton John there in the church.
Yeah, no, get the moustache out and everything like that.
You look very dashing.
I'll have to say good night, Norman. The basis to you. Well, it's good morning to you, Norman, anyway. But hopefully, next week, hopefully we'll all be together and keep talking. So
I'll be sending you links, David. You're welcome every single time.
That's very kind, Norman. So it was a great pleasure to talk cricket because it's really good fun.
Thank you, David. Thank you
very
much. Bye bye.
Ciao. Aren't we lucky?
Absolutely.
What he just said, that needs to be. I think we've said this before.
Pure gold.
We've said this before. Every time he talks, I mean, I need to get. I don't understand what's going on with the English restructure. I really don't. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. I find it very hard to work out. But when David explains it, it makes sense. Although David would probably, if he was honest, he was honest, but I would argue he wouldn't be totally happy with it, because it puts more pressure on the coach and the captains to make the decisions, which is probably right. But when things are going really wrong, who makes the call and who gets dropped?
Absolutely. That is where the trouble will arise from.
Who decides then the coach gets dropped? Who decides the captains get dropped? If they're the ones selecting, I'm confused.
There will be utter confusion, utter chaos.
I mean, if they start losing hand over fist, does Ashley Giles step in and say out? Who gets rid of them?
Ideally, it would be Ashley Giles stepping in this case.
So then he's effectively the chairman of selectors. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
I don't care what terminology they throw at you. You need a chairman of selection. And I think that's what Ashley Giles actually is. Okay, whatever title, director of coaching operations, blah, blah, blah. He's effectively still the chairman of selectors, what David used to do. And that is the way that you can't, they say it's been the biggest change in 120 years, only in titles. I still have, and the innovation of video recordings, of course, as opposed to a player going all the way to Leicestershire or Gloucestershire or something and watching two deliveries. They can now just watch the video of those persons batting.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's the only difference. They're sitting in their lounge room or their office watching the videos of the players, not as opposed to being there. Did you know that? And I think this was by all means Chris Vernon bragging yet again about his batting. Chris has sent me a video link to a game, an ECB friendly round, Sevenoaks Vine versus Minster, Chippy. And he says, live stream of our game, can watch from the start, meaning we should watch from the start. He got 74. That's why we watched. That's why he wants. If it was 0, we wouldn't have got that link. Chris Vernon wouldn't have sent me any bloody link if he got out for a duck, I can assure you, because he would know that I would use it to death on any broadcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this video and see 74, and then I'm going to watch the ball he gets out on and how he gets out. That's going to be edited in to our shots, not the 74. So, Chris Vernon, if you're listening, which I'm sure you bloody well are, if you expect me to put an hour and a half of you batting to get 74 on my show, you're kidding me. I'll put on 3 seconds of you getting bowled or caught, whatever. Yes. All right, so there you go. All right, we've actually been joined by my new music sensation, this man here, Keshav Haria. He was the man yesterday, Debashis, that I told you about, that played the John Lennon song.
Yeah, I saw that clip today in the morning.
He normally joins us about, what time is it now? About 5:38 in the morning in Australia. He joins us, which is
It's 1 a.m. 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. here in India.
Yeah.
He's from Mumbai. I'm
correct.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Someone says that feature Keshav in extra time, which we should.
Well, the first thing Keshav was doing, he's going to put a song together for my channel, and we'll work together with him on that. And you never know, you might have another person there for extra time to match your extra time with sort of Ganguly at the end, extra time.
And the music background of extra time is done by none other than one of the current heartthrob of Bollywood playback singing, Arijit Singh. Actually, it is he who has done the playback, the background music of extra time.
Really?
Yes, Norman.
Well, Keshav Haria, hello again. I'm expecting you to put together maybe a combination of a little bit of John Lennon there, because he put a great rendition of Imagine. I wouldn't imagine having Imagine redubbed or redone for my channel. Imagine all the people voting for Norman. Ooh. What's wrong with it? Even though Pretty is jealous and the partner too, Norman wins 4 polls in a row by 58-2. Imagine all the people voting Debash is at 3%, and Chris Vernon at 1. No, the reality is that there's certainly a lot to be said about that. So, Keshav, can I come on the stream tonight? Do you want to bring Keshav? I want to bring him on the stream.
Yes, why not?
All right. I'll just send you the link. Hang on. But there's no way I'm going to be putting on Chris Vernon's bloody hour of batting at 74 every 4 and every 6. His dismissal will be played to death. There'll be a video out.
He has an interesting message for you coming from Ashok Datani. He says, it is starting to rain now as Norman starts singing.
Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? You mean my voice brings rain?
That is what he means.
All right. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Hang on, I've got to get this link. So hang on. I'm going to try and find this link.
Will I send you? Will I send you?
No, I got it. So Kesha, there we go. There we are. Come on, Kesha. I've sent you the link. You should have it. So guys, I want comments. In fact, that's what I'll do. I know exactly. I'm going to put a poll out on my singing. See how many people think.
Who's a better singer?
Rain is a good thing. Okay, so I'll sing some more. Imagine all the girls voting for Norman too. Imagine all the girls thinking Norman sings well. See, it's clearly a hit. So when Cashel comes in, I'll get him to when I sing, he will play his piano. All right. So we may have a future record here of Norman. He might actually incorporate my voice into the video while he plays. There you go. Okay. Now, Ashok's getting a bit upset here. This is all Ashok. After my singing, this is what he can say.
Yeah, so for me, I think KKR, the entire strategy was it's a bit baffling, because first up to send to have Andrew Russell batting in at sending him in at 16th over doesn't make sense, because having the he played a blinder in the last match, and you need to have stroke player in the likes of Russell getting more number of balls, so as to he might take some time to get going, but once he gets going, if he stays on the wicket for 30-40 balls, he eventually will give you at least 70-80 runs. But then that was not the case. I don't know what was the logic behind sending Andre Russell so down the order. Means going in at 16th over does put a lot of pressure in him, and also the fact that the approach of KKR in this match, obviously, it was very conservative approach. You talk about other teams like Mumbai Indians or the Chennai Super Kings or a RCB or a Sunrisers Hyderabad. Means, would you believe it? Means 6 overs, 24 runs. Means I just cannot believe it that in a T20 format you have such a conservative approach, because the teams need to take full use of the power play overs, and that is and another thing is that why do you stick with, means I think that KKR players today lack intent. Means definitely, because you see the now Rajasthan players, there was some spring in their stride, because they were throwing themselves, that Chris Morris run out or a Yashasvi Jaiswal catch that he took. Means, and also the fact that Yashasvi Jaiswal, he was not playing. He played only 3 matches last season, and he was not looked after. But then he made a great comeback in this match. Obviously, he just scored only how much he didn't score much, but then you can actually make out that that positive intent, because he took that blinder, he took that catch, and so I think KKR had a lot to think about now. The fact that, and also to have someone like Sunil Narine, who just he was promoted up the order, he was in, and then he scored only some 6 months. He scored that six of the first ball, and then he has been picked basically more of a bowler who will get you that wickets, but he was wicketless today. Obviously, the fact that he has went for he was not that expensive, but then he missed a run out. Had he got that run out of Sanju Samson, then things would have been different. So I think overall KKR doesn't look like the team to win in this match. But then I think Rajasthan, but none of these teams will make it to the playoffs. That's guaranteed. Means even irrespective of the result tonight, none of these teams will make it to the playoffs. But then definitely, I would say KKR has a lot of thinking. If they want to end up the tournament on a respectable note, say ending up at number 5 or number 6, definitely they need to pull up their socks.
More than their socks. Now, Keshav Haria has joined us. He's actually pulled up his socks and he's got a T-shirt. What is it, Batman? Is it something a Batman?
Yeah, it's Batman. Yes.
Ah. Now, first of all, I want everyone to explain to me what Ashok Tatani said. He claims it's now raining cats and dogs now after I sang. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's actually a good thing because here in India, what we have the Hindustani Indian classical music. So there are a few things that are actually meant to be sung at a particular time of the day, and if you do that, the legend says that it used to rain when the people used to sing those particular thing at a particular time in the yesteryears. So actually, if he's saying that to you, that means he's praising you.
Oh wow! Now look at the magic of YouTube. Look at this comment. Can I come on the stream tonight? Da-da! Da-da! Magic. Norman goes, click, bang. See? I perform magic. See? Not only is my crystal ball got the magic, I've got the magic. Don't you think, guys?
Yeah, it happened.
Praise.
It happened last night, first time. Last night we did it for the first time, or last morning actually for you, and today it's the second time in a row that you did this magic.
Exactly. What can I say?
And I enjoyed your interview with Ronak Kapoor because.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And so, do you have a YouTube channel on your own? Of
course he does.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I need to subscribe it. What's the name of it?
It's with just this name only, my name only.
Okay, I will definitely subscribe it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
He's going up the charts with a bullet at the moment.
Not really. I mean, I'm only on 1,400 subscribers, and I get 100 views for a video, so it's not that much.
Okay. What we're going to do now, because Ashok Tatani has said it's raining cats and dogs, let's rain down with some more cats and dogs now. Kesh, have you got your piano going there? Your keyboard? I mean, you sung so beautifully yesterday, but you haven't heard me in full flight yet. So with my Frank Sinatra deep tones, I'm going to do a rendition of Imagine as well. So I need background music. Cue the music. Cue the music. You ready? If I only had dark glasses, what happened?
Yeah, I'm just trying to switch on the piano.
Well, if only I had dark glasses. I'm missing a chance.
Do you hear it?
Yes. Ready, let's go. Me, la, 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 la. Ready? 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. Love the dancing. Imagine there's Norman. It's easy if you try. There's the hell below him, but he's got a Imagine Norman's doing solos every night. Sebastian would be crying. He is only jealous. Oh. Imagine all the voters on my community page. The reality is I've won 4 in a row. It's easy if you vote. I defeated Pretty Little and a part of Sadie too. A nation's got no hope. Sebastian's too. Oh, look, I could go on forever here, guys. Magnificent. A round of applause. Come on.
Did you see the comment that Ashok?
I'm cutting myself. That'll be a new hit.
Just put the comment that Ashok just put.
Look at this. Is that crying or is it happiness?
No, I demand a refund. I demand a refund of my money after this
I
single.
beg your pardon. You're not getting any bloody refund. What is this? Okay. Imagine Punt buys a property at Coogee Beach and Norman see him at the beach. That's possible. This is the most versatile. Now, this is the most versatile. See, there we go. So I'm expecting that to be a part of the video we put together, Kesha, about the show. No, I think that's fun. Look, this is the best thing about this. I'm blessed to have Tobias here. I'm blessed to have you, Kesha, as well. The fact is that this is what this is all about. This is what YouTube's all about, is to express yourself, to have people enjoy themselves at any time of the day. Cricket certainly is the winner, but I think
Norman,
that
I would like to suggest something on this platform, is that you need to do more vlogs, because that is how you will rapidly grow. Means just you are doing PTCs. It just means, but if you do vlogs, you will generate more and more views. See, when you start your journey, that you are going to certain places, you start from your home and do a vlog that you are going so and so places to do this stuff, have interact with this. So suppose, for instance, talking to the people in Coogee about tonight's game between RCB and CSK. Maybe when you go out of your home, you just start while before jumping onto your car. Say, "Hey guys, I'm going to go to Coogee, and I'm going to interact with the Aussie fans. What they think about Virat Kohli and the MS Dhoni rivalry. Let's hear what they." As you go, you just do commentating, and do more
I
and more
love to do
vlogs.
that.
You
Great
remember,
idea.
you did quite a few vlogs for extra time, and it generated good views. When the Indian team landed in Sydney and when they were quarantining, you started from your home. I am going to what was that area? Said it was
We
Sydney
went
Olympic
to
Park.
Olympic Park, yeah, to go and
Yeah,
see them
Sydney
train.
Olympic Park. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you need to do more and more vlogs.
Absolutely. Well, I've got the wherewithal now. I've got Keshav here. He's going to be a mainstay on this program. And I suggest we've got Tobias with a mere $750,000 to $1 million on his channel. We may see development there too. We just don't know where this is going to head. It's a matter of being able to do this. I've actually found a jewel here. Keshav is amazing. You saw his other video, didn't you? That song he put together, amazing, for the IPL. Did you see that?
No.
Did you see my community page? I posted it on that.
I'm having a look. I'm having a look.
You have a look before I get angry. All right, you know I'm angry. So where is Tobias's channel? Tobias's channel is called Extra Time, Ashok. XTRA Time. I'm on there every night with Tobias at the moment, doing pre and post show events as well as on my channel. So, what did you watch the match today, Kesha? Did you watch the match?
Yeah, of course. I watch every game, and I think one of the most boring games ever in the history of IPL.
Absolutely. Shocker.
Yeah, there was not even a single 50 from either side.
Was there a six? There was probably only a handful of sixes, wasn't there?
That music was there.
Getting me dancing. I'm going to go full screen from here, guys. I'll start the dance. I'll tell you what, it was very, very impressive.
You know what? I can actually put it here right now.
Do it. Watch this, Sebastian. Watch this. Watch what he can do.
Yeah.
Sebastian, this is what you got to do on your channel as well.
I'm having a look.
Hang on. What's this? Everything is fixed, man. in the games. Well, controversial.
No. That's
That's
too hard.
A bit hard, yeah, okay. But who wants a lucky draw? What's the lucky draw? First prize, 1 dinner with me, and second prize, 1 dinner with me, first prize, 2 dinners with me. What is it?
So, Norman, can you add that video from the bottom?
Yep.
देखो फिर से चौखटों पे ये आ गया फैमिली का हिस्सा बने ये आ गया
वर्क फ्रॉम होम से छुट्टियों की ये वजह है थोड़ा जुनून इसमें मस्ती है थोड़ी रोमियो जूलियट से ज्यादा सुपर हिट है क्रिकेट और एंटरटेनमेंट की ये लव स्टोरी
देखो फिर से चौखटों पे ये आ गया फैमिली का हिस्सा बने ये आ गया
ड्राइंग रूम अब हर घर का देखो हाउसफुल है आंटियों को भी है वाला क्रिकेट का बोल स्टेडियम जाए घर पे जश्न मनाए लॉकडाउन वाली आइसोलेशन भी वसूल ये होली भी है दिवाली भी है जयपुर भी है और मनाली भी है ये इटली भी है और भी है दंगल कुश्ती कराटे भी है
ये है सॉन्ग मिक दारू भी है शान भी है जुझारू भी है IPL छा गया बदला बन के छा गया IPL छा गया टेंशन सारी खा गया
ये इंदर बल्ले का अतरंगी ये खेल है पास कभी तो कभी कोई यहाँ फेल टैलेंट और मौके का सतरंगी ये मेल है अरे भैया IPL क्रिकेट की वेरी खेल है
ने और पोल लिखे हैं प्रत्युष प्रकाश ने
Fantastic.
Absolutely excellent. Right?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
Did you,
that was
did you
great, wasn't it,
put this on?
Devashish?
Fantastic. Peppy beats.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay,
what did you ask?
Did you put this on anywhere? Maybe you should contact
Yeah,
Star
it's on
Sports
my own YouTube. It's my own YouTube channel.
on the YouTube channel. But Star Sports, did they know about it?
No, I didn't have any contact, so I just put it on my channel.
What should you do? Norman, suggest me.
What should we do?
I know contacts in Star Sports.
Let's do it.
But isn't it too late? Because this year they already have their anthem, which is on air.
But then they
it's never
definitely-
too late. It's never too late.
Never too late. Never too late.
Yeah.
You support Mumbai Indians?
No, I support CSK.
CSK. Okay. So maybe you have any anthem for CSK?
No, I don't have any anthem for CSK, but I am actually making a song for Dhoni right now as a tribute song because it might be his last time here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll give the contacts to Norman, and he will share you the contacts.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, actually, the thing is, I contacted Sports Tuck, which is a platform
Yeah,
on
we know
YouTube.
sports, sir.
Yeah, so they have like over 5 million subscribers. So I had sent them this anthem, but they said that because I have used a few footage from the
No, that
matches and all these things.
even we can also not use that because
Yeah,
that will be copyrighted visuals,
yeah,
because
yeah,
those match visuals we cannot put.
yeah, yeah. That's why.
But couldn't you take that out?
Yeah,
It can be
we
re-edited.
can.
It can be
Yeah, we
re-edited.
can. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can be
You can.
re-edited.
Well, I know what you can do is everywhere that you show the cricketers, you can show me in a, in a stance or something dancing.
Yeah,
That'll
if you
confuse.
have any such footage, you could send me.
I've got plenty of footage that no one ever sees, but I'm not sure whether I'll show you that. But anyway. No, I mean, to me, the music itself with background and you singing, you can certainly. I'm assuming you can edit around to have footage that we can legitimately say footage that Tabasha's maybe I'll supply, or the use. Who knows? I mean, I think there's a
Or
way
you can
around.
actually put it on extra time as well if you want to, as a fan anthem, like from extra time.
But then I doubt whether we would be able to use that visuals, because that we might land up getting copyright.
Yeah,
As
we
you
can
understand.
get the video edited, or just we could just put the audio itself, like with one still image for the whole song, and we can have the audio.
I
Nice,
mean,
nice, nice.
and you could redo it whatever way it suits. But
Yeah.
I think first and foremost, we'll work together collaboratively like that, and we'll work on what we
Yeah.
can get out of it. Absolutely, that was brilliant, wasn't it, Tabashas?
Fantastic, and I think Star Sports will grab it with both hands when they come to know that he is making a song on Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Means
Oh,
they will just means I know, seriously, Keshav, I know very good contact because I do freelancing for Star Sports. I do,
okay.
whenever I have covered series abroad for Star Sports in England and in Australia. The series that in India won in 2018, I was in fact covering the series for Star Sports, and also the series that last series in England, I was there covering for them because the rights are with Sony. So I got an opportunity to do freelancing work for Star. So I have very good contacts. So I will definitely push your case so that they can use it, because they are doing these fan stories during IPL.
Yeah.
So you might notice that during the pre-shows they are putting these small stories. So I
Yeah.
think they will pick it, and since you are based in Mumbai and Star has their headquarters Urmi Estate in
Yeah.
Mumbai, so I think they will be definitely pick your story
Yeah.
immediately.
Now, but
Dhoni, the song.
the Bastards, hang on, both of you. I want an exclusive first of me
You
with this
can, you
video.
can, you can. I'm talking about Keshav. Means obviously once your
I'm
channel
joking.
puts it, Keshav, just once this thing comes on Star, people will realize, people will immediately know more about you. Means you will
Yeah.
become very popular. Means once your video.
And the good thing here, if Star wants to just put this, then there would be no copyright issues with them because they hold
No,
all the rights. Yeah.
there won't
Yeah.
be any copyright issues. There won't
Yeah.
be any copyright issues.
Actually,
What
I
about?
have an anthem for World T20 as well, which is coming up. I have an anthem for that as well.
Wow.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So Bakul Dada's got a point here. Is this worth trying? This might be this man seems to know what he's talking about. Read it out to us.
Instead of IPL, fuse Norman's MCG bowling, batting, or Norman at Coogee Beach into song.
There you go. Clearly. All right. No, okay. So
And this comment that Ashok made, I am from Delhi, live in Mumbai, and I support CSK. That's exactly my situation as well. I am from Delhi. I live in Mumbai, but I support CSK. Although I was in Chennai for 6 years before I moved to Mumbai.
well, there
No,
you go.
I just want to make it very clear, because Ashok has just said that don't make too many promises. I'm not making promise, but definitely I can lead you to the contacts that I know.
Yeah.
That the producers of Star,
Yeah.
I will get share you the contacts. Maybe you can approach them. You can I will introduce you with them,
Yeah.
and it is
So
up to them.
what I'll do is send you the link of this IPL anthem, or
But
actually,
it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, right?
it's in my channel, and Norman also put it on his community
So I
last
will
time.
I will share the
Exactly.
link. I will share the link with
Yeah.
them. I will share the link with them.
And actually, Dhoni song, it's still in a very initial process. We have just finalized the lyrics. I'm
I
yet
will,
to.
I will, I will. You will
Yeah.
get a feedback tomorrow itself. Tomorrow when you come
Okay.
for Norman's platform, come on
Okay.
Norman's platform. We'll get the update.
You know what we're going to do, guys? Very shortly, I'm going to take us on. I know it's late to Barshas, but I want you to be a part of this. I'm going to get in my car and head for the beach. It's only 5 minutes away. You want to do that?
No, I just want to leave Norman now because it's
Oh,
already
okay.
6
Oh, he wants.
a.m.
You know why he wants to leave? Because he's concerned that I might start singing again. That's the truth.
No, you should excuse me, Norman, because it's
Okay,
1:36 now. I know.
That's all right. Well, it's
So
very
see
nice
you,
to you.
Keshav. Keshav,
Thank you.
you will get
Thank
a
you.
feedback. You come to Norman's platform tomorrow, and I will give you the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Dada. Thank you.
And it's brilliant.
All right, Barshas.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Norman. Yeah,
Ciao,
thank you.
ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
There you go. That's great. I mean, Debashis has all the contacts. He is
Yeah.
in the know. He has a great coverage. He's also very good friends with Burim Majunda, and so are we both. So this is, don't worry, when Debashis says something, he does it. So let's get that happening. I mean, Star Sports should see this, and not secondhand. They should see it firsthand. So let's do that. I think it was great. But honestly, what about my singing? Do you think I've got potential?
I think your voice has got a lot of potential, so you could actually be doing voiceovers or be an RJ.
Absolutely. Anything's possible.
Or maybe a commentator.
I'd love to do it. You know that. So just let's spend about 5 minutes on this game today before. So are you willing to join me to the beach? And you can see some background.
Yeah, sure.
Be quite a dramatic little car ride. It's only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll have a look. All right. So today's match was very underwhelming, wasn't it? There was no doubt about it. It was very, very underwhelming. It was a very sad match. Both of these teams have got no hope of making the top four, in my opinion, despite the fact that Rajasthan Royals beat Delhi Capitals and today's KKR match. But I think that they are both underwhelming. It's too late for them to change the team dramatically enough. Although there might be a mini auction happening or mini player swap occurring after round 7 or the 7th.
Yeah, but usually the trade window, usually nobody makes use of that because, you don't want players from your team to go to the other team and then, spill the secrets or spill the beans, about.
That's true.
So that way, I don't think any team would be willing to do it unless it's really, really needed. But I've heard that, and I think I also made a suggestion last night on your channel that they should look into Rassie van der Dusen, and they are actually signing him.
Exactly. It's an intriguing situation. Let's hope that he can provide some extra stick to the team because at the moment they really.
And you were actually not in favor of that.
No, not really.
You don't rate him as a batsman, as a T20 batsman.
You'd only hope that he adds something to him, but I haven't got a great deal of certainty about his play. Let's be honest. If he was good enough, he would already have been a part of the auction process. So any of these players that are coming second, third, fourth string, they're not really players sought after anyway. It's only through injuries that they're considered. There's a lot of Australian players that should have been considered, and that's what disappoints me. I mean, Daniel Sams is back soon, I think. He might be one that will help. Who was he with again? Daniel Sams.
He's with RCB, but I don't think he's gonna get a chance straight away because Kane Richardson just played one game, so he should be playing another one.
But that's a good example of a trade window where Sams goes to play for another team. That would be a worthy decision for sure. Now, I just wanted to make this. There's a comment here. Read that out for me.
No one would make a good commentator, not sure about the singing. So, see, I also said that you should do commentary.
Yes, but you at least were graceful and not saying a lot about the singing. So, Ashok Dantani, you shouldn't be so heavy on you. Ashok, just admit it, Ashok. You're jealous because you can't sing as well as me. Be honest. Come on.
But he's jealous that he doesn't have as good a voice as you have.
Absolutely. People that criticize you openly are usually jealous. Mark his words. I can't help that. I can't help that. If you're jealous, that's life. All right.
Somebody said Kyle Mayers can be devastating, but his short to fame was actually a test match knock, not a T20 knock, and his
That's
T20
true.
numbers are not that great.
That's true. He did score an amazing double century, though, in the second innings of a match. Quite a remarkable feat, actually.
Yeah, on a fifth day in Bangladesh. Yeah, that's
exactly Bangladesh. Well, you said it. I mean, for God's sake, Jason Gillespie, who couldn't bat for peanuts, scored a double century at Test level.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've had a lot of discussion with Jason. He loves to brag about that. He'll play every ball out for you if you're willing to listen, which is really annoying.
He's a busy guy these days, isn't it? Coaching Sussex in the summer of England, and then is he also coaching a BBL team, Adelaide Strikers?
Correct, Adelaide Strikers. I think he's also got to do with the South Australian domestic shield side as well.
So he's occupied all throughout the year.
Oh yeah, he has what they call a level 4 coaching, which is very rare. A lot of the top coaches got level 3, but actually the level 4. It's a very specialized level of coaching, which gives him that little edge, and he's well respected for that. Actually,
isn't he interested in coaching an international team?
Oh, I think so. I think he certainly is. I think he was asked already to coach England. I think he's been asked once or twice already. I think he's waiting for the Australian gig, to be honest.
I think, if I'm not wrong, before Trevor Bayliss, he was interviewed by Andrew Strauss in 2015, and he was. He actually put it down.
Yeah, he refused it.
Yeah.
Ashok, see, the truth comes out. See. Okay, we accept that. All right.
There was some comment. They also suggested Andile Feklokweo as a replacement for Archer or somebody like that. That could have been an interesting one.
Who?
Andile Feklokweo from South Africa.
Oh yeah. It was earlier on. Yeah. Certainly, that would be certainly the case. All right. So you played some. Did you want to? Before we head off, do you want to play some music? Something you want to play? Something that you think a chance to play?
Yeah, I can. I mean, since I said I support CSK,
let's hear about that.
So I would sing the Coldplay song "Yellow."
Yeah.
Because of the jersey color of CSK. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do, they're all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and all the things you do, and it's all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. Do you know I love you so. You know I love you so. I swam across, I jumped across for you. What a thing to do, 'cause you're all yellow. I drew a line for you. what a thing to do is all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. Do you know? For you, I'd bleed myself dry. For you, I'd bleed myself dry.
Fantastic. Fantastic. The reality is I can imagine that being played. Now, if you play that song and we have Kohli clips or more so Dhoni clips in the background with CSK, that would be brilliant, especially about Dhoni. Now, I'm very excited about what you're talking about, what you're developing for Dhoni. To me, you never know if CSK go through to the top four, they reach the players status and even make the final and potentially win. We could actually see a swan song of CSK, as in for Dhoni. Dhoni may well leave on a high. I believe that if Dhoni actually can win this, he will see it as his crescendo and leave on the high note, which will be the best ending. So you may have something here that may be perfectly timed for such an event. So let's work on that. So
actually, I was planning to put that song out on Dhoni's birthday, which is in July 7th. And it's after, I think, 5 weeks after the IPL ends. Because I thought after IPL, there is this World Test Championship final as well. So if India wins it, then, all the attention will be there. So Dhoni's birthday is on 7th of July. So by then, WTC and IPL, everything would have been gone down, and the whole concentration would be on Dhoni and his birthday, his 40th birthday. So that would be a perfect occasion to put this on.
Absolutely. And not forgetting that we've just had Sachin Tendulkar's birthday, which is effectively yesterday now.
Yeah.
And he turned 48. Wow. Yeah. Isn't it amazing to think Sachin Tendulkar's 48? It's hard to believe. He's certainly moving on in age. Okay, I'm going to go back to cricket for a little bit. But this is funny. Bakul Dutta was talking about me and Australian music. He said, Highway to Hell is the most popular song. Do you know that song?
No, I only know Stairway to Heaven, not Highway to Hell.
Well, there were some amazing Australian artists. And I mean, AC/DC is very famous, of course. That's one of their songs. All right. Okay. Now, they're saying that Rassie van Dusen is the next big thing in South African cricket. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I don't agree.
If I'm not wrong, he's already, 29, 30. So how can he be the next big thing?
That's true. I'll just quickly go through some other questions here. There was some issues about he was disappointed today with some of the umpiring today. Well, the whole match was disappointing. So, I mean, the umpiring decisions really pale in their significance compared to the overall game and the importance of the game for both sides. Really, even though RR have won today, I don't think that really improves their chances at all of getting through the finals. So it's just very disappointing for KKR.
You never know. I mean, funny things happen in cricket all the time. Zimbabwe beat Pakistan defending 119, so you never know one of these teams makes it.
And it was even more interesting that the game for me was between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Bangladesh scored a mighty 500 plus, but then Sri Lanka came out and are virtually equal the score with 2 or 3 down, and Tamuth Karunaratne is on 234 not out. It's quite incredible.
I think they declared. They got a 30 runs lead and they've declared overnight.
Have they?
Yeah.
See, Tamuth Karunaratne, someone I know very well, is a lovely guy, lovely bloke, and he's now scored. I think he scored over 5,000 Test runs, so he gets himself officially. I always judge a batsman when they get themselves in the Quick Info stats. They reach that 5,000 and they become part of the main stats. It's like a watershed moment for them to reach that mark. As Arjuna snuck in, I think he's got 5,100 odd. So very interesting indeed.
When I came onto your platform yesterday, and I showed it to my friends later on. So one of my friends actually, when he got to know that, so he wasn't aware of you because he's not that much into cricket. But once he got to know that you're an Australian and you're married to a Sri Lankan, So he asked me to ask you a question. So he says, ask Norman if he's an Australian and he has a lot of connections in Sri Lanka, then why do people like Dennis Friedman from Australia and Daniel Alexander from Sri Lanka, they keep tweeting always things against India on Twitter?
Against India.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think there's an element of jealousy in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
It's the big brother syndrome. Sometimes you compare Australia and New Zealand the same way. We have a lot of bands between the two countries. Look, Sri Lanka has imploded with their cricket over a number of years. They've had amazing success with that period with Aravinda de Silva and the World Cup in '96, and they had Sangakkara Jayawardene, even Dilshan and ultimately Angelo Matthews. They had a great level of success. But recently, a number of the top players have been disillusioned. There's been a lot of dissension in the ranks, a lot of concentration on other leagues. The Sri Lankan team meant nothing. There are a lot of president involvement with the selection of the teams, and now with Tom Moody effectively as overseeing selection, he's not even a part of the selection group as an independent observer. It tells you there are problems. I know Sri Lankan cricket very well. The board itself, Mohan De Silva is a great. He's actually Mohan De Silva is the one constant between all of Sri Lankan cricket. He's a very decent, honest man, but he can't control what goes on around him sometimes because it's beyond him. They've had levels of corruption.
And it's baffling that people like Jayawardene and Sangakkara are coaching in IPL, but not their national team, Sri Lanka.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of inconsistencies with that. There are certain the worst people in Sri Lankan cricket are the people that talk badly of others. Because I look at if I'm hearing someone bagging my other people and whatever very openly, I then look back at them and I look at them and say, why are you so keen to deflect the responsibilities and the problems to someone else when it may well be you? I think there's a good example. I won't go into detail, but a certain coach that was there from a women's perspective that I had no time for, who basically is now being sacked, and I won't go into the detail. A lot of conjecture as to what went on there. The reality is this: Sri Lankan cricket's in good hands with Mohan De Silva. He's a magnificent man. I think there's a lot of potential there with him. He may not be the chairman at the moment, but he certainly has a lot of influence. So,
but what do you make of Mickey Arthur?
Look, he's done well throughout the world. He's a good man manager. He's a good team manager. I'm not sure whether he's necessarily the answer to Sri Lankan cricket, but he certainly is a step in the right direction. One of the best coaches was Trevor Bayliss. He had a great synergy with both Sangakkara and Jayawardene, and with the likes of Stewart's last name? Stewart's. Oh my God, I've forgotten Stewart's name. He used to play for Australia. He played one match for Australia. Anyway, Stewart's another person was involved. They are, quite frankly, they need to get a consistent coach. Really, Mahar Jayawardene would probably be an answer. Look what he's doing with Mumbai. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, but didn't they find an answer in Chandika Hatrusingha, who actually led them to a series win in South Africa?
He's another great person. But yeah, he had a lot of success in Australia as well with New South Wales. He is a great coach. He's to be a coach of New South Wales, he must be good. I tell you.
Yeah, did well with Bangladesh as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know a lot about it. Sri Lankan cricket, they have as much potential as a Pakistan or India, pound for pound. They have some amazing players in the so-called villages of Sri Lanka. Not like a Malinga or perhaps even Murali back in his day. They've got them there. Arjuna Ranatunga was amazing. He used to go out to the country side and find players, and even Simon Willis, who you've seen on my show, he was the head of high performance there in Sri Lanka. Some great people that just can't get that consistency going. And they play well in parts. Now, Naroshan Dickwell, the keeper, a personal, I've known him since he was a kid. Dinesh Chandimal, I've known him since they were kids. Both of them oodles of talent, but haven't been able to quite get to the level. Although Naroshan Dickwell's keeping stats are through the roof. He's a great keeper, but he's also an incredible batter. But
problems with Angelo Matthews as well with his injuries, because he was supposed to be their next flag bearer after, Sangakkara and Dilshans and all the Javardhanis got retired. But he also left captaincy in the middle after winning a series in England, actually.
Yeah, that was probably not his doing. I think a combination of him getting disillusioned and perhaps the bad selection. Angelo Matthews' batting record is pretty damn good. He has got an outstanding batting record.
Yeah.
He doesn't bowl as much these days, but he's a great person. I have a lot of time for Angelo Matthews. Well respected.
Yeah.
Tamuth Karunaratne probably isn't quite the best of captains, but he's a lovely guy, and he's best of the lot at the moment. They have a bad habit, Sri Lanka, of selecting 5 keepers in the team. Which they've got so many keepers, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But they've got some great talent, and they keep unearthing amazing bowlers, especially spin bowlers. Amazing.
But right now, I think the bowling assets are at an all-time low because, they have to play Varendu Hasaranga in this game, who's actually more of a wide ball specialist. Emuldinia was unavailable for this series. So that's baffling. I mean, and the fast bowling has never been impressive for a long time now.
They've had bowlers there that should have gone further. I've forgotten his name. There was oh my God, I've had a mental blank. But they've had a couple of young bowlers that really showed a lot of promise. But
recently,
gone wayward. Sorry.
Recently?
Oh, about a couple of years ago. Was it
Chamira?
Yeah, Chamira. That's the person I'm thinking of. He had a great deal of potential. When he was a few years younger, he was unstoppable. He was bowling at great pace. But I think he had a few injuries and lost a bit of form. But I think they're not. There's a lot of dissension in the ranks about who coaches who, what club gets priority over another. There's a lot of political backlash or political background stuff that goes on that really detracts from that. And they also get connected to various other leagues around the world, and they get spoiled somewhat as well because the Sri Lankan money in cricket is very low, very, very low. And I think that's part of the problem. But if you bring someone like Arjuna Ranatunga back into play, although he's more of a minister in government these days, he tends to be someone he unearthed great champions.
Recently, they've got Chaminda Vas as well into the coaching setup.
That's certainly been a good thing, certainly.
Yeah.
But there's a bloke named Kushal Gunasekara who was actually Murali's manager. He played a bit of high-level cricket too. He's down in Senegama, which is down towards Gaul. He has an amazing place called Foundation of Goodness. Anyway, he brings a lot of young kids through his academies, and they are some of the best I've ever seen. And they're like the kids without any shoes or without any parents. Really horrific stories that brings them through. So, yeah, you're right. The people who commentate about India from Sri Lanka, they're jealous.
My question was specifically for a couple of people on Twitter, Alexander and Dennis Friedman from Australia. So, usually their tweets are targeted towards pleasing a lot of Pakistani supporters. So they would always rate Babar Azam above Kohli, and they would disregard Kohli and his credentials. So I personally thought these things are not to be taken seriously. I mean, who are they to judge?
They stir. They do it to shock or to get interest or get discussion and probably get more people to view their platforms. Let's be honest. People do that to provoke. I mean, Babar Azam, there's no doubt that he's a great player. He certainly is. Whether he's better than Kohli, maybe statistically at the moment ranked higher or whatever ICC rankings, but you can't go past Kohli. Absolutely.
But ICC rankings themselves are a joke, isn't it?
I can't understand them.
Yeah.
I don't understand them at all. There are players on there that linger for so long, even beyond their playing days. It's just, I don't know how that's. I mean, to me, once you're off how can you be the top ranked player if you're no longer playing?
Yeah. And the thing is, these rankings are purely stats based, but they don't actually take into account which opposition, what quality of attack was it against, and was the runs coming in the winning contribution or not. These things are not factored in.
Yeah. Look, I like them to be a bit more transparent with that because I just don't understand them. I really don't. I mean, there are certain players on there that do well a little bit, and they're on there. Now,
yeah, and just to think of it, if Rashid Khan or Mujib are one of the top ranked bowlers in T20, but most of the games have come against associate nations. So that's no way of judging them against the people who are playing against top quality sides.
well, you almost can't take them seriously because Milan, who is a great player, who's ranked very highly, is not even finding a regular position in an IPL team. Which, I mean, if he is truly number one, and I'm not saying he's not, but if he's truly number one, he should be first picked in a team, shouldn't he?
Yeah, and I think even the team rankings, as a matter of fact, are a bit better because they are weighed on the basis of home and away. But the players' ranking, they are a joke.
Yeah, I agree. I can't understand if you have one good series that you're suddenly ranked in the top 10.
Yeah,
I mean I can't
look what happened with Fakhar Zaman. He got a couple of big hundreds against South Africa, and he's all of a sudden he's on number 12 in ODI rankings.
I mean, if they're talking about a player at this very moment that has scored runs, maybe, but that's not the way rankings should work.
Yeah, so they should probably announce monthly rankings rather than an all-time ranking thing.
Well, yeah, they should explain why they're ranked in that position rather than just tell us that they're in that position, because we tend to hold on to that wrongly because we think, well, they must be working it out somehow. All right.
Ashok had just put a comment, Lakmal is good, but Lakmal is, I think, 35, 36, so he's almost at the end of the career.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job, though. Has done a pretty good job for Sri Lanka. He's been quite a consistent. In fact, he was I think he was captain at one stage, wasn't he? He was the captain for a few matches.
Yeah, I think in Zimbabwe on one of the tours he was. Yeah. But the problem is these bowlers are not consistent. Even if you talk about Dhamika Prasad in 2015-16, so he was also picking wickets. But if you see the strike rates and averages of most of the Sri Lankan quicks, they're not as impressive as even West Indies have a better fast bowling stock now.
But Dhamika Prasad, again, someone I know very, very well. In fact, I'm trying to get him on my platform. We talk a lot together. He's a lovely bloke. He's a tremendous guy. He, pound for pound, had more talent than you can imagine. He had a great bowling technique, but he wasn't consistent, perhaps. But he generally, that's the problem. There's a spark. There's an ability there, but something goes wrong. And it's more political rather than anything else. I mean, Malinga, for example, he reached all the heights. He was a magnificent bowler. But stopped his test career, you would argue, rather early. And I know he was more injury prone, but that was a sad state, to be honest. Sri Lanka don't
even Dhamika, Dhamika was also injury prone, isn't it?
Yeah, but was it injury prone or badly handled? I don't know. They're a funny bunch when it comes to their beep tests. They do. Sri Lanka should be one of the fittest cricketing nations on earth because they are very well fed. They're very well, they're very well trained generally. But something goes a little bit astray. But you go to the streets of Sri Lanka, you'll find more young players out there bowling extremely well. Something's just not right there. I don't quite know what it is. Usually it's a financial reason as well. A lot of the kids are getting no support.
One of the talents which I feel they've actually not handled well, or you could actually put a finger that he also didn't really fulfill his talent completely, is Kusal Mendes. I mean, the amount of talent he has, so he should have been at par with people like Babar Azam, KL Rahul in that generation. But he has also struggled.
But you look at the batting, Sri Lanka are notorious for changing and chopping their batting order in say, Test cricket all over the place. If something goes wrong, they reshuffle the whole lot. Some new selector or some new president, someone comes along and says, and wants to put his stamp of approval on the scene, and he shakes them. And then, Sangakkara in his day, Mahela got very ticked off. Angelo Matthews gets ticked off because they are the president or whomever you can imagine comes along and just shuffles aside. Jayasuriya gets elected to power in one of the political roles. What the hell was going on there? I mean, even Arjuna, I like him a lot, but what's he doing in politics, really? I mean, admittedly, his dad was, and his brothers are, but soon as he entered politics, cricket fell away because he didn't have the importance of that. He was actually jokingly at one stage Minister of Ports rather than Sports. And we all joked with him saying, did they drop the S off? They make a spelling mistake and he got the wrong portfolio. I mean, the guy was brilliant as a chairman of selectors, chairman of the Sri Lankan Cricket Board. He was very good. But then he was not liked, and there were fractions within the group that got him out. And it is such a deep divide in Sri Lanka. They're a mess when it comes to the administration, except for Mohan de Silva. The rest, I mean, some of the, look, I could go on about it. I know too much. Some of the people, some of the players that get their way, some of the, you know, but whether it's a female team or the male team, the coaching they get selected, there's a nepotism there. There's coaches that should just, God knows how they got selected, and they get, they win. The girls' team didn't win a game for about several years under one coach. They've finally, after pressure, got rid of him when it should have happened from day one. And he shouldn't have been the coach at all. He is abysmal. He's a shocker. He can't even get a coaching gig in Australia any more than the domestic level. He's that bad. He's on the nose everywhere. But then all of a sudden he's coaching the country.
I think one of the unlucky things that happened with Sri Lanka was when in 2014 they were actually on the rise. You know, they won the Asia. They won the Asia Cup, if I'm not wrong. They won the T20 World Cup. They won a test series in England. And at that time they had Paul Fabris as the coach, but he actually chose to be an assistant coach with England rather than leading Sri Lanka as the head coach. So if he would have stayed, I thought they could have got some stability with that team moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. I mean, and Simon Willis is another, is a great guy. We know him. Simon Willis is the most decent, fair person and nurtures everybody, has respect across the board. He should be highly involved in Sri Lankan cricket in the long term. He may go back there one day, not too far away. All right. They want me to get.
I think we have talked. Yeah, we have talked a lot about Sri Lanka.
That's okay. That's not a problem at all. I mean, the reality is that the IPL today was pretty boring. So there's not a lot to talk about. We're very frustrated with some of the players. As you said, no one got 50. Morris got 4 wickets. Yeah, he bowled okay, got man of the match. But man of the match is a very dull match. Doesn't really count for much to me, in my opinion. Ashok Jatani reckons Sri Lanka needs Rahul Dravid. You're probably right. Rahul Dravid's done a magnificent job in the under 19 practice. Buckle Dada knows too much. He's mentioned a name there which I won't go into discussion about. Yeah, I'm afraid, as you may not know, I've been involved with Sri Lankan cricket through a lot of ways for probably 20 years, especially women's cricket of late. I have a lot of them which are very close to me, and they look up to me like a father, and I'm very proud of that. So they come out to Australia, they play, they get exposure, some of them came to Australia and then were selected in the national side because of the form they showed in Australia. Because they got to play with Alyssa Healy and all the best Australian players in the domestic competition, and they honed their skills to another level. All right.
See, the thing is, Sri Lanka keeps giving these miraculous sort of performances in between, which are actually, for example, like, you know, they won a T20 series in Pakistan, playing almost a B-string side in 2019. And then they won a test series in South Africa, becoming the first Asian team to win a test series there. So that shows, right, that there is a bit of talent. So if they are provided with the right leadership and right coaching, they can actually excel. But it's all politics that's actually affecting them.
I don't want to disparage Sri Lanka because I love the place dearly, but there's too much going on there.
I hope Mickey Arthur takes them. I hope Mickey Arthur takes them to the right direction.
Even I, who will do anything to help people in Sri Lanka, have detractors who want to pull me down by making up rubbish about me. Someone said that I was a match fixer, and I thought, what planet are you on? What planet are you on? Where are you getting such crap? But it's very easy to throw something out there, to throw the cat amongst the pigeons when there's an element of jealousy or whatever. The fact that I've got a great relationship with a lot of players, as in girls, and have helped them here. Everyone knows that I take myself off my back to help them. And for someone to say that, it's jealousy, it's political, they're one of the most backstabbing groups of people, despite being an absolutely loving nation, a wonderful, wonderful culture, wonderful spirit, wonderful cricketing, acumen, all the right traits in such a small country, yet it's ruined by politics, ruined by forms of corruption. There's been some horrific examples where in fact, the entire administration from top to bottom, players included, they went through them like a dose of salts. They found some issues there, but the fact that they had to do that tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And this year, Sri Lanka has to play the T20 World Cup qualifier. It can't get worse than that.
Exactly. They've had financial issues which they shouldn't have had. They've had plenty of good rights given to them in terms of financial reasons, but they go not necessarily to all the players. Some of the players are paid very poorly. They've got a system there where the Army, Navy, and the Air Force provide help for the players, especially women's cricket, which is very commendable, but it's not enough. They've got to be more. There are no sponsors for women's cricket, none. And you can't tell me that there's some of the girls are the most dynamic, and I'm talking about marketability in a country that should acknowledge that more. And it's disappointing. But there's a lot of good things too. Again, I keep mentioning the name Mohan De Silva. I have never met a man who was more honest and more decent in my life. And he has been there throughout the whole period. I can go into his office and talk to him frankly. He will listen. He'll tell me honestly what's going on. Amazing man. Amazing man. I would let him be the leader of all forms of their cricket indefinitely. He's got a very high position, but he can only do so much. If anything's kept them going, it's him. And I'll talk about him to death. He's a magnificent man. I mean, Damasceno, who's obviously now, and he was the 96 World Cup. He's also an umpire. Magnificent man. Simon Willis has done a great job when he was there. But a lot of people that need to be looked at very carefully. All right. This is a very good point. Afghanistan national team is way better than Sri Lankan team. Well, pound for pound, they probably are. Incredible. And good old Harshit Traders wants me to say, well, you've missed so much. We've played music, we've danced, we've done everything. But you can always watch. You haven't missed a thing, because don't forget this is a live show, but it's recorded. You can tag yourself or play this 5 hours later. So it's there. All right. You want me to go down the road with you? Do you want to see Kuji?
Yeah, sure. There's just this one question from Bakul. He says, "Who's my top 5 Indian talent not yet regular in Indian cricket?" I think Devdutt Padikkal is very impressive. He would be. I see him in Indian colours pretty soon. Then there's Ravi Bishnoi, the leggy. He's also quite impressive. You can say Varun Chakravarti, the mystery spinner, and then Rituraj Gaikwad, the CSK opener. So these are 4 players I think should be in the Indian team in the near future.
But it's very hard to say that these players should be in the side when there's no room.
Yeah, so whenever the time comes, if, for example, people are saying this year Asia Cup might happen, so India will only be able to send a B-string side because they would be playing World Test Championship as well. So if they do, then there are options in Padikkal, and for spin department, there's Varun and Ravi Bishnoi.
It's true. They've always, like Australia has very regularly over the years when they're at their peak, had a so-called Australia A side in the true sense of the word. Many teams have got A sides, I know, but the Australian A side were capable of playing in a tournament with the rest of the world. And handling sorts of, and I think India are just about at that stage now. Very, very close.
Recently, De Villiers gave a statement that the depth in Indian cricket right now is scary. So that's a big statement.
Well, I mean, he sees it firsthand, doesn't he? I mean, and I mean, the more that India succeed at this level, the more young kids are going to strive to be a part of that, and the more you're going to unearth. And that's the problem with Sri Lanka. The supporters of Sri Lanka are disillusioned, which then ultimately lose young people to want to aspire to be their national hero because the national hero is no longer quite the same. South Africa is the best example of that. I mean, they've had a number of players they've got no real leader in South Africa at the moment. Nobody's really standing out. And you're looking towards AB de Villiers in the IPL to be your inspiration. I think he's not playing for South Africa. Well, at least not now. All right. Okay. While we're doing this, I might start to make a move outside. What you can do for me is you can go through the questions being answered as I'm moving and keep answering for me. How about that? I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. So Harshad asks, Mavi looks impressive, don't you think? He's impressive, but in patches, I think the consistency is lacking. Same with Nagakoti as well. Even Karthik Tyagi looks a very, very good talent, but they need to be nearest because you don't want to be like Pakistan that one good PSL match and you give them a Pakistan cap. So the way we are now operating and giving the Indian cap, you see, I mean, people like Siraj and Navdeep Saini and Surya Kumar and all these guys, they have had a lot of domestic cricket behind them, and then only they got a chance to play for Indian team. So that way, I think unless you are a prodigal kind of a talent like Washington Sundar, he got a chance and impressed very early in his career, or somebody like Rishabh Pant. Unless you are in that space, Shubman Gill or Prithvi Shaw, then that's a different thing. But I think Mavi has a long way to go as a bowler for India. So Ashok asked me, what do I think of Kohli as a captain? Kohli as a captain, I think undoubtedly really good in test matches, but in T20s, I think he somewhere lacks the finesse or what a Dhoni has or what a Rohit has. But this year will be very important if he does well in IPL and there's a T20 World Cup at home. So this year would actually really define Kohli's captaincy going forward. My prediction for Hitesh asked me my prediction for Ashes 2.0 result winner tomorrow. It's a tough one because Zimbabwe has just won the last game, so they would have the momentum going into the final. And Pakistan, I think, just to save the series, they might bring back Hassan Ali and Shaheen Shah Afridi so that they don't embarrass themselves again. So that way, you would think Pakistan should win.
All right, we're gonna try something here. I'm getting in a car.
How's the weather?
It's chilly. It's very chilly. Very chilly. It's about I don't know, probably 10 degrees Celsius.
Wow, that's actually chilly. Yeah.
Hang on a sec. It's very chilly, but it's beautiful, beautiful clear skies.
So is it the start of the winter?
Oh, it's autumn.
Okay.
So you guys are going to come on a car ride with me. How's this?
Bakul says no masks requirement outside seems otherworldly.
I know so this is quite good. You can see me in the car, can't you?
Yeah, we can.
I'm going to try. I'm going to turn the car on here for a second. I'll be in the news.
I sit here and people ring from the tip.
I'm going to turn my radio down. All
right.
Yeah,
if you could put the rear camera on, then all of us would be able to see a few of your, the visuals outside.
The real camera? What do you mean by the real camera?
Not real, rear, the back camera.
Okay, you mean to turn it the other way around?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, like that, yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can.
All right. I'm getting a bit of movement here. I don't know whether this is legal, but also... All right.
Do you have like a mobile holder in your car?
Yeah, I do, but it's going to face me though.
What you can do is go to the settings and change the camera to the back camera.
Oh, how do I do it? Because I'm on live on TV on this thing.
Yeah. So just go on the settings downstairs. Sorry, at the bottom, the cam/mic option.
Yep. Okay.
And there you can just change the camera to back camera.
Settings, camera, back camera. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's something I didn't know.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. This is. Can you see now?
Yeah, but it's in portrait mode. Can you put it on landscape mode if possible?
How do you do that?
Just change the yeah like that. Yeah, perfect.
All right. So you ready for this? This is going to be interesting.
We are ready for the ride.
All right. Let me just get this all sorted here. I really okay. I can't drive and hold it, so I've got to work out some way of putting it up. Maybe I can do that.
You have a mobile holder, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not quite that easy to do. So what we'll do is we'll do this. Is that any better?
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay, gotta make sure this works. So can we see it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a bit of a ride here. This is very unusual. All right, so we're leaving. I'm in Coogee. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right, so we're going to do. So we're going to go. It's losing its focus, isn't it? Though it's okay.
Yeah, the focus is a bit out of it.
So it'll adjust over time. So you're getting me driving down a rather. Can you see? There's a rather big hill coming. Hang on.
Yeah, looks quite empty.
Well, it is 6:53 in the morning. Okay.
And it's a Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, that's for sure. And you wait till we get into my streets in Coogee. It is one of the most interactive streets. Amazing people. They're there, and they're great friends of mine. It's like a village feeling.
Okay.
So that focus is still not good, is it?
You could just tap on it, maybe.
I'm trying to. It's just not.
Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, looks beautiful.
So we're going down Carrington Road in Coogee, which is where I live. And we're going to be turning a corner at some stage. I'm just trying to work out which corner is the best one to turn down.
Are there any Indian restaurants nearby?
There are, but not this time in the morning.
Yeah, I know, but what kind of food do they deliver?
Oh, I mean everything. Thai, Indian, even Sri Lankan. We've got a few Sri Lankan restaurants that are actually named as Sri Lankan restaurants. So.
Okay, so since you have been to Sri Lanka, so do they actually give you authentic Sri Lankan food?
Oh, well, I tell you what, I certainly know where authentic Sri Lankan food is. I tell you.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of restaurants. You can't see anything at the moment, can you?
No, right now it's blacked out.
Yeah, because it dropped and I had about 5 cars behind me and I couldn't do it.
That's okay. You should be focusing on the safety first.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to stop now because I want you to see this. This is the view as we go down the street. I'm just trying to work out what's going on here. Where is it? Cancel. Hang on. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Here we go. The camera. Here we go. We're back. We're back?
Yeah, we are back.
All right. I'm going to just quickly. I'm going to do this time. You can see. Can you see now? Can you see water starting to emerge?
Yeah, we can.
You can start to see the emergence of water. We're coming closer and closer to Coogee Beach.
So how far is this from the main city of Sydney?
7 kilometres. We are in the main city of Sydney.
Okay.
So 7 kilometres, 7 to 8 kilometres to the middle of the city itself. Oh,
Okay.
and today is, of course, Anzac Day,
Oh,
which is a
what
day that we celebrate the war heroes.
the
See all these
trans
people? You see all these
trans
people? They're all in military.
yeah, Trans-Tasmanian thing.
Yeah, Anzac. It's like a celebrating those that the dawn service, which actually I should have actually done properly. I should have actually done that. But see, all the people have gone down to have the dawn service, right?
Hmm.
And we're gonna have to talk. Many people are there for their grandparents and what have you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is interesting viewing.
No, this is nice. We are getting a look at where you actually stay.
Yeah. Oops.
Actually, interestingly, my dad is also watching, and he just commented which city.
See those guys there in their uniforms?
Yeah.
So there's a whole heap of them there. We'll get them to. They're all dressed up. I'll get them to. See them. They're all. So guys, wave. You're on live television to India. Say hello to India.
Hi, guys.
You had a good day?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good stuff.
So
How was
are they just dressed like that, or they're actually
Oh, they're
someone
probably
in-
existing. They're probably existing military.
Okay.
But I mean, it's the day of the Anzacs. As I said, they celebrate with a dawn service. It's meant to be a public. Look at this. Can you see what we're coming into now? We're coming into South Coogee.
Yeah.
So
My dad's been to Australia, actually.
Look at this. Look, this gentleman here's got all these badges on his shirt. The Crown Plaza. So we're right at the beach now. I'll get this gentleman to come and have a chat.
Is this the hotel where Indian team also stays?
Hi, g'day. This is going live to India. Say hello if you don't mind.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm
Have a
well.
great day? How's that? That was a real Aussie for you.
Yeah.
G'day, mate. How are you?
And what about this Crown Plaza? Is this where Indian team stays?
No, but a lot of the sporting teams do stay there. But not the Indian team, no.
Okay.
But as you can see, you can start to see the what they call Coogee Surf Life Saving Club there on the very southern end. See how close I am to the beach? Very close.
Yeah.
It was only a 2-minute drive at most.
So my dad has just put a comment that he has been to Sydney and it's beautiful.
Well, you wait. We haven't seen half of it yet. We're going to see something very shortly.
No, actually, he's been to Sydney a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a comment from Bakuli says, try to make a video of some Indian or Sri Lankan restaurant in your area.
Well, not at 7 a.m. in the morning. I can't.
Yeah, not right now. Maybe whenever it's possible.
Oh, for sure. See, a lot of these people have all celebrated the dawn service, all dressed up in their suits. It's quite a big day for us.
But how come no one's wearing a mask?
Because we don't need to.
Okay, it's COVID free.
Okay.
Is it?
We've had zero cases for 80 days.
Oh, wow.
0 new cases for over 80 days, maybe even 90 now.
The last time India had 0 cases was maybe 80 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are. Look at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm just going to find a parking spot. You can start to see the beach there, see?
Yeah.
And you'll often find me here doing things, of course.
Yeah, I saw the video you made about the Australian contracts.
Yeah.
Was it from here?
Yep, that was certainly from here. So I'm going to park now. Just give me a second. Just going to do a bit of parking. So I need to get my hands free. So
Yeah.
bear with me. Can't see a damn thing. The sun's
How far-
bright as ever.
How far is Opera House from your place?
Oh, it's about, somewhere around 7 or 8 kilometres. I could
Okay,
certainly
so-
do that on another day, but not today. Maybe we will.
Yeah,
See how we go. We'll just see how we go regarding this first, and I'll just come down here and we might interview some people. I'm just turning off the car. Just bear with me. All right. So we're back. All right, so I'm going to get out of the car now.
So, do Australian people watch IPL?
Absolutely. We're going to be talking to people now with a bit of luck.
Oh, okay. Something what Devashish actually suggested.
Well, it's going to happen. Let's see how we are. All right, so are we getting the camera shot there?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So how do I go back to the... Here we are. So
Yeah, the sun looks really beautiful today.
it's freezing, though. Don't be fooled by the sun. Well, you can see by everybody's clothing that they're not exactly running around in bikinis, I'll tell you.
Yeah. And it's good. I mean, this kind of little bit of sunshine on a chilly day, it actually feels good.
Yeah, have a look at this. Quite amazing. That's my favourite coffee shop there, one of Bar Zero.
Is it not open right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there later. How's it going?
Yeah, I recognize this background from your last video on Australian contracts. Yeah.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, the water is quite blue.
Should I go front camera? I'll go front camera. Amazing.
Not much wind today.
Sorry?
It's not much of a wind today.
No, there isn't. There's a gentleman out there. Can you see him? He's on a. Can you see him? He's on a board.
Yeah.
Look at these. What do I bark at me? What have I done to you? What have I done to you? What have I done to you? What have I done to you?
That's probably Daniel Alexander.
So there we go. It's amazing. You're getting a good view of that?
Yeah, I am.
So I'm not sure what should I do now. Should I just go back? There we are. I'm back on that screen now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm live on Indian television. Do you mind? Do you have a little chat about what today means to you? Do you mind?
Sure, yeah.
Hi. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew Norman. Nice to meet you. So this is Andrew here. He's here commemorating Anzac Day. We've got Casual here. This is live on Indian television. So tell us about your thoughts of today, what it means to you.
I'm still currently serving at the moment in the Australian Defence Force with the Army. And I've done multiple tours of various countries all around the world. So it's a chance for me to do a little bit of reflection on those people that have gone before me and obviously uphold the Anzac tradition within Australia.
That's wonderful. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time.
Anytime.
So this is on a cricket channel, actually.
Even better.
Back in India. So
I wish everyone in India all the best at the moment because I know what's going on with the pandemic. So for the Australians playing in the IPL to stay safe.
Thank you very much. I'll get a quick thought of you. There's MS Dhoni's team's playing against. There's a Virat Kohli. He's RCB versus CSK. Who was the better captain?
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going to go out on a limb and go runs on the board with MS Dhoni.
Well, good on you. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, see, he's also supporting Dhoni like me.
See, now that's knowledge about cricket right there.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
And he was a serving army military member. Did you hear him clearly?
Yeah, I did. And you know what? You should actually cut that
microphone.
No. You should cut that footage out later on and put it as a separate video later on your channel.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we'll do it this way now. So it's very interesting. So that's, an aspect of just walking along here, what can happen. Quite incredible, isn't it? So you heard that? You heard him very clearly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's magnificent. What an amazing person to speak to, who obviously he serves in the army as we speak.
Somebody just put a comment, what a knowledgeable man.
What a knowledgeable man.
Yeah.
See, I mean, it just goes to show about cricket there that I can randomly get someone on the street and they can talk with great knowledge about cricket like that.
Yeah, and he actually had knowledge about what's going on in India as well in terms of COVID.
And I've had people tell me about that I stage these interviews. Well, there's an example where I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an absolutely amazing situation that people would be able to talk about that. I'll just ask this one here. Excuse me. My name's Norman. I'm actually live on Indian television at the moment about today's Anzac Day and about cricket. Would you like to share any comments? Okay. Okay, thank you. I've got to be careful. Not everybody wants to comment.
Yeah.
I'll just ask this one. Excuse me. My name's Norman. I'm live on Indian television. I want to be able to get someone to talk about Anzac Day, what it means to you. And would you like to be able to talk about that just for 2 minutes?
Sure, mate.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
My name's Norman. I'm working with a number of Indian television networks, including my own. I'm actually live now with a gentleman here as well. And we're talking about the significance of Anzac Day, obviously Randwick Rugby as well. And
Yeah.
they're very cricket mad. Yeah. So what's your name, by the way?
Mark Harrison.
Mark Harrison, Norman Koshek. Nice to meet you.
Norman, how are you?
I'll tell you about what this is actually too. So we're actually talking about Anzac Day to the people back in India, but also about the relationship to cricket as well. So first of all, what about Anzac Day? What does it mean to you?
I think Anzac Day for an Australian, it's one of the special days of the year. You know, talk about Christmas Day and Anzac Day. I think Anzac's, they just said in the service, one's a celebration and one's a commemoration. And I think, you know, the country that we live in, we're sitting here on the beach, beautiful area down here. And the reason we're able to do that is because, you know, these guys and women over the years have fought for our country and we've been able to maintain the way we live. So fantastic. I think it's a very important day and it's one that we all should commemorate.
That's magnificent. Really great words there about what this means to Australians. It's quite incredible. And I'm sure India has similar celebrations as well. Cricket, just quickly about cricket. Are you following the IPL at all?
Not too much. I sort of run a rugby club, so I run Randwick Rugby Club.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I am a little bit across the cricket. Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of the IPL. I think when the footy season starts here, I'm very focused on the footy, but I have watched it. I like some of those Kolkata, some of those good names of some of those clubs.
Yeah, the Kolkata Knight Riders.
Yeah.
Who played actually and lost the match overnight, as a matter of fact, as well.
Well, that's we lost yesterday, so you're in there in good.
Just quickly, 2 players, MS Dhoni, and who obviously is a well-known cricketer for India, and Virat Kohli. Who's your pick? Who would you think is a better player for they're playing actually tonight in India? MS Dhoni's team, which is CSK, Chennai Super Kings, are playing Virat Kohli's Royal Challengers Bangalore.
I've always liked Dhoni.
Okay.
I know Kohli's the sort of the new kid on the block and he's a superstar, but Dhoni to me is always that guy where he goes in, looks like it's an impossible task, and the way he goes about it is you think they've got no hope of doing this, and he's pretty lackadaisical, and then before you know it, he's just calmly, you know, got the run rate down and got the runs, and you know he just seems to be able to do it consistently. So, and he's done it for a long period of time. So, and I just like the way he rolls. You know, he's just such a
fantastic,
good player, and it just seems like a good bloke. Love to have a beer with him.
You have no idea. I have a platform called Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshek. I also have a number of major platforms. This goes to millions of Indians.
Yeah, okay.
So, Mark Harrison, correct?
Yeah.
What an amazing thing to be able to have the person who heads Randwick Rugby, which is one of the most famous clubs, certainly in Australia, if not the world, having had the Ella brothers, a whole range of great players at Campese.
You know, Norman,
Campese were all at the ground yesterday. So
were they?
Yeah, so they're still really involved, and that's the great thing about Randwick is that all the ex-players are still really passionate about the club and really help out. And, you know, like they're there. Gary Ella was at the ground with us on Wednesday, just putting signs up. And
oh
signs
wow!
And stuff like
I love it.
So,
I love it.
You know, I have a question. I have a question for him.
Yes, Kesha, got a question? What do you got a question?
Yeah, I'm going to ask him what chances he thinks Australia has for winning the T20 World Cup this year in India.
I'm going to say good.
That's a very conservative. I think he's not really something. It's a full forward 7.
I think obviously India's going to be hard to beat at home. You know, Australia doesn't go as well on the subcontinent. The pitches probably don't suit our bowlers as much. But you know, I think Smith and Warner, if they can get going batting wise, and you got sort of the X factors like Maxwell and a few of those boys. So if they can sort of play 3 or 4 good games together, and that's what it's all about, those big tournaments. It's just being in form at the right time and maintaining it. So I'm hoping they do well.
What did he make of India's historic win in Australia in the Test series?
So the Test series which happened in Australia, the Australian Test series.
I think that was that series really got people talking about Test cricket, because it was, Test cricket's sort of become a bit of a second cousin now to the 2020 and certainly to one days. And then I think that Test series, the way it was so close and so competitive, and the way it was played, and a few of the Indian new guys came out and did really, really well. The keeper, I can't remember what his name is.
Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, so just those games that all went down to the wire, it really, and it obviously finished in prime time here, so there was a lot of people watching it after work and just prior to the news. So it was a really, really good series and really got people talking about Test cricket again, which was great. So, and India did fantastic. So congratulations to you, Blake. So I hope we can beat you at home in the 2020.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark. I really appreciate it. This has been great. I'll give you some of the information if you want.
the Mayor of Randwick.
Oh, no. Hang on a minute. Come here, Danny said. My God, how are you, Danny? I'm going live here on your television. You know what I do, don't you?
Yeah.
So we have got, not only have we got the head of Randwick Rugby here, we've got the Mayor of Randwick, Danny said, who actually is someone I know very well. I went to school together. So it's amazing to have these people here celebrating Anzac Day, talking about cricket as well. This is going live to Indian television.
All right.
So it's absolutely live. And we've got Kesha, who's very famous in India. We're talking about cricket. So I'm sorry to bother you, Mark.
He's the boss.
Oh,
so.
No, Mark's a sportsman. That's all you need, Mark.
All right, Mark.
See you later.
Thank
Go
you very
Australia.
much. Just briefly. So Danny here, I can't believe this. I'm walking along Coogee Beach and I met up with the Mayor of Randwick, just happened to be walking past. This is Anzac Day celebrations. But we also wanted to talk about, we should get some words on the Anzac Day celebration, what it means to you.
It actually, and it was, it's always harder during times of COVID, but it actually worked very well. It was a very solemn occasion, and we really are proud of the way we handled things, and we're very thankful for the people who came today, and we had a very great, sensational day. The weather's fine, it's held out, and we're very all happy, a bit cool, but yeah, so we want to commemorate our servicemen and women, and we had a really good day.
Thank you very much. So one last thing, Danny.
Yeah.
I want your opinion about 2 cricketers. We've been talking heavily about, there's a game in the IPL tonight, which this is brought to. MS Dhoni for CSK, which is Chennai Super Kings, and he is playing against Virat Kohli, who's playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Pick a name, Dhoni or Kohli?
I'd go Kohli, but am I going to cause trouble?
No.
Am I showing any sort of focus?
No.
Kohli.
All right. Thanks.
Do I win something?
Nice to see you.
Oh, so that's 2-1 now. 2-1. Dhoni's leading.
But we've had the head of Randwick Rugby, which is a huge club, and the Mayor of Randwick, 2 people randomly we've just talked to. Can you believe that?
And you have gone to school with one of them?
I went to school with Danny said. I went to school with him. Amazing. Quite incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing to be able to come down to Coogee Beach and be able to talk to the Mayor of Randwick and the head of Randwick Rugby so randomly. That was just done randomly, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I couldn't have staged that better. I can't believe that, actually. It's quite incredible. All right. we may go back. It's just one of those situations that you can't ever have imagined.
Yeah.
It was a lovely couple there taking photos. So I'm just going to go to the restaurant here. But can you believe what's just happened? Can you believe the two people that I've just come across?
And I'm actually quite impressed by the command over cricket that they had.
Exactly. But I mean, I'm a local of Coogee, so people know me pretty well. But to have someone who I went to school with, who's the mayor of this place, and the head of Randwick Rugby, it's quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like going along the streets of India and having Sachin Tendulkar and say Ravi Shastri just pop up and have a chat to you.
And 2 people out of 3 have so far picked up MS Dhoni, which is also quite impressive.
Yeah. So what was the story again? We had it was 2-1. It was MS Dhoni was 2, was it? And
Yeah.
Incredible. This is my favourite little place here, so we'll have a bit of a talk. It might be a bit noisier here, but we'll have a look.
Somebody just put a comment. This is unbelievable. Today's stream has been an epic stream.
Yeah. Anyway, just table for one. Can I get that corner spot over there? Yeah, sure. Okay. So here I am.
Is this your favorite spot?
My favourite spot is a large cap, please.
Can you read the comments?
Yeah, I can see the comments now. Yeah. Can you believe this? Can you believe what just happened? Can you believe the people I just met there?
I can't.
How are you? Okay. So I'm just trying to get one of the waitresses to come on this camera.
Okay.
A friend of mine. So this is what this is what Sydney brings you at the moment. You've got Coogee Beach, you've got the beach. Can you see the beach?
Yeah, I can.
There's a truck there at the moment.
I can see the people sitting outdoors.
I'm losing a bit of volume because it's a bit loud, so I have to speak loudly.
You didn't get headphones or earphones?
Sorry?
You didn't get the headphones or earphones?
No, don't worry. I can hear you, though. I can hear you.
Okay.
So, can you believe it? The mayor of Randwick, Danny said, just walking along randomly like that, and then the head of Randwick Rugby, amazing. What was his name again? His last name was Harrison. I didn't remember his first name.
Mark, I think Mark.
Okay, that is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You can't. I couldn't have planned that any better.
Yeah, and
then
there's this comment from Ashok. He says, "Life is never boring with Norman."
I mean, you're gonna have to help me. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna download it and edit it, and we'll package it. Okay?
Yeah. I'll put some music.
That is absolutely. I have a lot of fun with this, but I'm in absolute shock that I could have picked those 2 people to talk to. So, in fact, 3 people. That other gentleman who was from the army was Mark Harrison.
Yeah.
So, Kesha, Google Mark Harrison. You'll see he's head of Randwick Rugby, and Danny said that they're of Coogee. I mean, how could that be possible? How could that be possible? I mean, really, it's quite incredible. It's very much incredible. So, I come here down there a lot. You know the newspaper?
Yeah. I remember.
Done a couple of seats up there.
I remember that. Yeah.
Quite incredible. And you heard everything clearly.
I did. Yeah.
Well, if you heard it clearly, the viewers would have heard it clearly.
Yeah.
So this is going to become a very much an invaluable little video, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's so. Let's go through it. The first gentleman, he backed MS Dhoni.
Yeah.
And then we had Mark Harrison, who was MS Dhoni. And then Danny Sedgwick Coley, although he was a bit concerned about whether it's going to cause any controversy.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So I can't get better than this. All right. Now can you see?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Can you see water?
Little bit, yes.
How come we can't go on a bigger screen? It's not really showing a big screen. I don't know why.
No, there's the option down at the bottom.
Layer.
Yeah.
That's better.
You know, I could, if you want, I could leave the stream so you have the full screen.
Me on the full screen?
Yeah, I could leave if you want.
There we are. Can you talk still?
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can talk. I can hear you talking.
Okay.
All right, we'll go back to the other screen now. There we are. That's good. So, how about, I'm still trying to work out how I could come across those two people. That was mind-blowing, seriously.
You should.
So random.
Yeah, you should thank Devashish for the idea. He only suggested you, right?
Quite incredible. So, what a great location.
Yeah.
We're in Sydney, Australia. We've got perfect weather. Cool. It's chilly though, but it's perfect weather. And you've got obviously a lot more to go. So, what we might do there, we might actually end this now. I think we've done a great job at this. I'm going to have a coffee.
Yeah.
Unless you want to ask me more questions.
How many people are watching?
Yep. Perfect. So we're waiting on, I think, my colleague. So, yeah, so this is Coogee Beach. If you look at your Google your maps, it's about maybe 7 to 8 kilometres, maybe a little bit more from here to the middle of the city. You have beaches all the way along the coast. It's basically Sydney. It's effectively Sydney. That's where we are now. Do you want to come on camera? Get people a bit embarrassed. Ask them to come on camera and they won't come on. So I got my little coffee here.
See, people are getting jealous of you because you're outdoors and you're having a coffee. We can't do that in India right now.
What was that?
We are getting jealous of you because we cannot go out in India.
No, I know. Well, you can live it through me if you want. Live it through me. Well, we went from my place by car. We were here in what, 5 minutes, less than that.
Yeah.
And we got here very. This is amazing. We only met a few days officially. Now you're being entertained here in Coogee with a coffee. But I mean, I'm still trying to come to terms with a guy I went to school with who's a good mate of mine being put on like that. That's just ridiculous. And the guy I met was the head of Randwick Rugby. I didn't even know. Well, you know rugby. You know about rugby, don't you? Rugby is a really famous sport.
I do, yeah.
But this club, Randwick Rugby, are extremely famous. Some of the legendary football players and cricketers also play there. Like at the Randwick Club, they have David Warner, who's a current player. Usman Khawaja, Simon Kadich, Mike Whitney's the president who played for Australia. Jeff Lawson didn't play. But a lot of other players. Jason Sanger, a young Indian derivation.
Yeah. The leg spinner.
No. Oh, he was also he's a batter predominantly. He was under 19 captain of Australia. He's in the New South Wales team and should play for Australia one day. He's at Randwick. He's actually the captain there, I think. So they're all pretty close to us. Here we are. Amazing. All right, we might stop it there. I think we've done enough now. So thanks, Kesha, again. we'll have to put some music together and we'll talk more. So this is
Sure.
Norman Kochnek for Eyes on Cricket. In fact, I'm going to say goodbye. We're going to talk again on Eyes on Cricket. So watch our episodes into the future. All goodbye to you guys. Have a great day. Ciao.